Welcome back everyone. Going to be doing some more jobs on the Honda today. We're going to be doing the exhaust, putting the old exhaust back on, panel filter, some spacers because it definitely needs it, and we're going to treat some of this rust that we've got appearing. If you missed the last episode, we did some of the front end, we did a refresh, new fog lights. If you want to catch up with the rest of the series, then just check out the link above. Alright, so first job is to take off the aftermarket exhaust and get the standard one on, for reasons that I'm about to explain. Alright, hey everyone, so this is probably one of the last journeys with this exhaust on, so I want to give it a go, see what it's like, give you a sample of what it's like in the cockpit. It's a bit boomy at times. I'm going to do some slow speeds, hopefully a bit of a razz as well. So yeah, this is the Tegiwa single exit. Hopefully I have to swap it for a standard one, so we'll see if there's any errors or anything like that we need to figure out. So yeah, let's give it a go, let's see what it's like. So a cold start, which you'll see on the video, is it's quite noisy. So that's a bit of VTEC. I think that the worst part for me, I think, is low speeds, sort of doing around town, and it feels a bit trombone-y, a bit farty, I guess, if you like. And I think that's the biggest issue for me, really. And also, I just can't really hear it. I can't really hear the engine that much. It's just a bit boomy and a bit farty and a little bit embarrassing. I feel a bit of a prat sometimes. I did have someone who made farty noises at me through the window, so I think that was the final straw. So this is a used exhaust from another guy on YouTube, actually, Lewis. Can't say enough good things about him. You know, Lewis, again, thanks again for. I know you're sort of Sheffield way, and we managed to get it in between. I've got folks in Chesterfield, so big thanks to Lewis for dropping that off. And it looks, yeah, really good nick. So I just want to try it out. If it's no good, then we'll swap it out. So let's give it a bit of a go. So yeah, it sounds okay. Going through the VTEC, it sounds really good. It's just that lower speed. I think that's the deal breaker. Change up to, if I'm in fifth, we're on a 40. That's not the sound I'm after. And yeah, like I said before, the cold start is somewhat of an issue. It seems to just resonate around my driveway and all the houses, and no matter how I park it, so if I'm facing out or facing in, it's a racket. And leaving the house early in the morning, yeah, it would annoy me if I was my neighbour. So being a good neighbour, and yeah, let's make it a bit quieter. Alright, so standard exhaust fitted back on. Let's give it a go. Much quieter. Very nice. So much quieter. So yeah, that was the cold start. Not going to be disturbing any more neighbours, so really happy. Alright, next up I'm going to swap out the panel filter. I tend to do this with all my cars, just slight noise improvement, very, very slight. But the car's going to breathe better, and it's just something I tend to do, take out the standard filter. So yeah, really easy job to do, 2 minutes, and it's in. And with that done, next job is one that I've been wanting to do for ages. And you can see that the FN2 is standard. The wheels are so far inset, it just bothers me. So it feels like I need a bit more stance and a bit more of a wider track. So it just so happened that kind gent on Instagram, Matt Champwhite, that you may have heard of, he's got a fantastic YouTube channel, so please check him out. He was selling these, so worked out perfectly. And yeah, so many thanks, Matt, for sending those across. Along with he's got an instruction video on his channel of how he installed them, all sorts of the torque settings. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on here, but you'll just get an idea of me throwing it on. The camera actually broke halfway through, so yeah, you'll see half of it anyway, and the final results. So if you're thinking of getting these hub-centric spacers, it's worth noting that the 19mm socket, so the standard one that you would get on the right with the nylon sleeve, doesn't actually fit all the way into the socket. So again, thanks to Matt, he actually sent me a socket that he'd cut the nylon out across the top, so it means you can get the socket right in there, get it nice and tight. So just something to think about if you're thinking of getting one of these. So I got in touch with Tegiwa directly, and they said just use the factory torque settings for the wheels. I know there's sort of slight variations in that across the web, but I think you can't go too far wrong with anything slightly less than that. So yeah, this is them fitted. So yeah, they fit really nicely. Plenty of copper grease will go on the outside. And then we're going to clean the wheels as well, add a bit of copper grease on there, and away we go. Alright, now for the fun bit. We're going to treat some of this rust that's appearing. So I'm using Guard, which is an underbody rust protection. I'm going to treat it first with a bit of rust converter and give it a good clean. There's a lot of crud here. I'm going to need to take some of this plastic off. I think there's loads. Oh dear. I'm going to get this off. Have a look up here. The trim looks good. The rim, the edge, the metal looks really good. So I'm confident. Now, the beam, not so great. But then, I mean, to me it looks original. There are bushes in there, so the bushes haven't changed at some point, but this is the stuff that I really want to get to. I reckon, in the face of it, the beam isn't too bad. A bit of shine there, that's good. But yeah, these bits, obviously where the crud collects, that's where we want to do some rust protection. And these bits here. So yeah, just need to, in all honesty, I don't really know 100%. This is the first time I looked under one, so can't quite get under there to have a look at these, the bar behind there. So yeah, try and get another look at that. So yeah, I'm going to get these off and get rid of some of this crap and see where we are.
so we've got this plastic off. There's a bit of rust there, but it's nothing too bad at all. This is the obviously fuel line to the tank. And it looks pretty good up there. I thought that was perhaps a rust problem with the when I had the leak, but it wasn't. Oh, this looks really good. That's just surface rust. That's nothing to worry about. So it's all pretty good in here. You can actually see where you would get the issue if you did have a leak there. So it would come down the hole and then go into that point and get in the boot. But fortunately, I didn't have that. So yeah, really impressed. I'm going to get all this off. Give it a good scrape. It looks good. Okay, it's cleaned up really nicely. Really good. Bit of dirt still, but about as much as I can get without the pressure washer. Haven't brought the pressure washer out today just because I'm a bit lazy. A few spots up there, but the rest of it, don't know how it comes out on camera, but it looks really good. Obviously, this is, I mean, yeah. I think it's okay. There's nothing I can see from this side that is causing me any concern. This is all smooth at the top, so I need to check obviously when it's on the ramp. I can see a few, quite a bit of bad rusting at the back, but in the main it's not terrible from what I can see, but I'm no expert by any stretch. I'm quietly confident that it's okay. I'd like to get in here as well, just to take those two screws off. They're a bit worse for wear, and then obviously get in there to clean that a little bit. So I'm going to do that next, and then I'm just going to let it dry out and treat the rusty spots. So that's a lot of the prep work done. You don't really need to go this far and do all the rust conversion and all that, but I just wanted to go the extra mile. This is filmed over the course of a few weeks, so you'll see things that are looking slightly different, but ultimately I wanted to get it to a good level and then give it a clean and then spray on the lanyard guard So this is with all the rust converter. It looks pretty good. It turns black once it's finished, and then we're going to just spray on top of it. Alright, so we're in a good place. Just need to clean off. Has had a pressure wash, but just need to clean off any dirt. I don't think there's much, to be honest. So yeah, I think we're good to make a start. So I'm just going to cover the discs. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. So this is the grease. When I looked at it yesterday, I thought, it actually smells like wet sheep, until I read that it's made from wool fat or something. So yeah, it smells like wet sheep, if you were wondering. I'm going to get the brush like that. It's nice and warm today, so I'm just going to dab that in. Right, I am just going to go in on these bits here. You probably cannot see in a lot of detail, but you get the idea. And then we'll let the spray do the rest. It does have a remover as well on this Lanogard stuff, but it smells just like a wet sheep. Which I suppose that's what it is, right? When's the last time you saw a sheep that was rusty? Gonna dial up some on these bolts as well. And it says just whack it on any seams, so go whack it on here. Alright, so we've got the spray. I'll just put it in this container for now. And let's go for it, let's go ham. It's really easy, as you'd expect. I've actually got the little applicator which shoots in the holes, but you see you can change the nozzle so it can shoot into holes. So for these sorts of places it's great. Alright, so I'm going to use the sprayer. It doesn't feel all that secure. I've seen people spill it everywhere. I think that's not ideal, but still works. So this is just going to allow so I can get in the crevices. There we go. This method's a lot easier. You can get right up there. So there's the finished back end. So it's got a sheen to it at the moment. It's starting to go sort of milky. I think the idea is it goes sort of candle-like. Hopefully it does its job. The good thing with the kit is you can spray it in these holes, get it right in there, and you can put the wax on these sort of the seams there. Just got to be careful of the discs. I didn't initially bother taking the wheel off there, but I had to take it off just to be a bit more accurate. But yeah, it's really crusty there, but not too bad for the rest of it. So yeah, I'm just going to do the fronts. Probably won't film that because it's a bit boring, but you get the idea. So yeah, really happy so far. It smells a little bit like a farmyard, but not many drips on the driveway, so my wife will be happy. So yeah, let's get the front end done as well. So it's a few days later after the first spray on application. It says allow a couple of days without driving the car, and then in a few weeks it will fully set. It goes to sort of like a candle like texture, and it's looking really good. It smells a little bit like a farmyard, but as you can see, just spraying on some water, you can see the product's hydrophobic qualities. It gives you a bit of peace of mind when all the salt is going to get sprayed on it. It'll need reapplying next summer, but it's such an easy job. I made a bit of a meal of it, but you could do it in 30 minutes, no problem. As always, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.